Beautiful chapter. This attempt, it has undergone some changes here and there. Very little changes. We have discussed the major changes, but still there are little more changes are there. We will be discussing throughout. So section 9, classified in how many category? 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5. What is 9? Levy and collection of CGST. What is 9.2? Levy of CGST on petroleum products. What is 9.3? What is 9.4? What is 9.5? Forward charge, sir, classified into two categories, 9.1, 9.2. 9.1, levy and collection of CGST. 9.2, levy of CGST on petroleum products. Shall we talk about 9.1 very quickly? Yes, sir. There shall be levied a tax called Central Goods and Services Tax on all intrastate supply of goods or services or both, except on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption on the value determined under section 15 at such rate not exceeding 20% as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council, collected in such manner as may be prescribed, shall be paid by the taxable person. What is 9.2? Levy of CGST on petroleum products. CGST on the supply of HP man. What is full form? High speed diesel, petroleum crude, motor spirit, aviation turbine fuel, natural gas shall be levied with effect from such date as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. The levy under 9 subsection 1 is subject to the provisions of 9 subsection 2. Right up. Yes, reverse charge we can classify into how many categories? 9.3, 9.4. 9.3 notified RCM, 9.4 RCM on notified goods or services. Right up. Yes, or RCM from any registered person. Sir, CGST to be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient. Yes, the government may, on the end of the council, by notification, specify category of supply of dash or dash or dash. Goods or services or both. The tax on which shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient of such goods or services or both. On all provisions of this act shall apply to such a recipient as if he is the person liable for paying the tax in relation to the supply of goods or services or both. So reverse charge is applicable for both dash or dash or dash. Appo goods kum reverse charge irukke, services kum. In fact, reverse charge notification has been issued in respect of dash as well as dash. Services done girls, correct? Yes, sir. Goods done cashew nut, sir, tendo leaves, all those things. That notification you have to connect. Sir, the recipient is liable to pay tax leviable on any charge basis through any ledger. He cannot utilize ITC to pay such tax. He is entitled to take ITC of tax so paid by him on satisfaction of the Sir, section 9.4 RCM on notified goods or services. The NMA on the end of the council by notification specify a class of registered person who shall, in respect of supply of specified category of goods or services or both received from an unregistered person, pay the tax on reverse charge basis as the recipient of such supply of goods or services or both, and all provisions of this act shall apply to such recipient as if he is the person liable for paying tax in relation to such supply of dash or dash or dash. We understood that for this purpose RCM is in the case of builder, correct? Yes, sir. Sir, in case of affordable housing the tax rate applicable is 1%. Other than affordable housing tax rate applicable is, in order to enjoy this concessional tax rate, two conditions should be satisfied. That person should not take ITC and he should supposed to pay tax on RCM under section 9 subsection 4. He has to check whether he is purchasing 80%, at least 80% of goods from the, if he is not purchasing at least 80% of goods from the registered person, then on the balance 20% he has to check cement is there or not. If cement is that cement will be taxable at a concessional rate at the rate of higher rate of 28%. For the balance remaining 9.4 provisions will not be applicable. In case if the total purchases is less than 80% from the registered person up to 80%, for all the item RCM will be applicable. In that cement will be taxable at 28% and other item will be taxable at 80%. Whereas beyond 80% up to 100%, you have to check cement is there. Cement will be taxable at a RCM of 80%, 28%, under section 9 subsection 4, right? So we are having exemption under section 11. Intra-state supply of dash or dash or dash received by a deductor under section N1 51 from a N registered supplier is exempt from the whole of central tax leviable thereon under section N4, subject to the condition that deductor is not liable to be registered otherwise than under 24 clause 6. That means, sir, 9(4), sir, RCM from unregistered person irukku illaya? That means the recipient is a registered person illaya? In the recipient is a enna person? Registered person. Hello, sir. Recipient is a should not be registered solely for the purpose of TDS under section 51. If he has taken solely for the purpose of TDS under section 51, 9(4) RCM will not be applicable, right? Yes, sir, we are having to move into the 9(5) N commerce operator. The government may on the end of the council by notification specify category of services idhil enna varadu the tax on N state supply which shall be paid by the e-commerce operator if such services are supplied through it, and all provisions of this act shall apply to such e-commerce operator as if he is the person liable for paying the tax in relation to. Sir, it is important to note that this exemption is applicable only for the and not applicable for the right. We are having notification, right? That notification has been amended, right? Yes, sir. Services by way of transportation of what? Passenger by radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab and motor vehicle or any other motor vehicle except in a bus. This is transportation of passenger. We are having happy services, Leah. In order to be happy, you should drink what? OR? Yes, sir. Services by way of transportation of passenger by in a bus. Omnibus, except where the person supplying such services through e-commerce operator is a. That means if the supplier of the omnibus is a company, then in a charge mechanism, FCM will be applicable. Otherwise, ECM will be applicable, right? Service by way of providing accommodation in hotel, guest, in guest house, club, campsite or by commercial place meant for any purpose or lodging purpose except where the person supplying such service through any commerce operator is liable for registration. Service by of any keeping such as plumbing, carpenting, etc. except where the person supplying such service through any commerce operator is liable for registration under section 22 subsection 1 and supply of any services other than supply of any services, restaurant services other than service supplied by a restaurant, eating joint, etc. located at any premises. This has to be highly understood, my dear lovable students. This word has to be clearly understood. Okay, wow. That is, this is not supply of restaurant services means normal restaurant services of Swiggy, Zomato, kadayadu. Supply of restaurant service other than service supplied by yaru restaurant, eating joints, etc. located at. That means, sir, services of restaurant service. Upper restaurant services are 9(5). Restaurant services are 5(5). Correct? Yara tavara other than service supplied by restaurant, eating joint located at. Upper specified premises is 9(5) la cover avale. Specified premises la irunda 5(5) la enna avale. So what is that specified premises? This note stands a very important point for your examination, my dear lovable students. Specified premises would mean premises providing enna accommodation, hotel accommodation service, having declared tariff of any unit of accommodation. That means for room you are above how much rupees per day? 7,000 per unit per day or equivalent na exact how much rupees. So I am a hotel where I am renting rooms through Swiggy. For example, sir, you can book your hotel. Go IBBO is there. All that booking is there. .coms are there. So through that you are booking. Are you really with me? This restaurant services means not the food, not Swiggy, Zomato is not covered under 9(5) or NFI 5(5). They are talking about accommodation services. They are talking about so specified premises would mean premises providing an accommodation, hotel accommodation service. An accommodation service having declared tariff, having an of any unit of accommodation above how much rupees? அப்போ ஒரு நாளைக்கு rupees 7,500 or equivalent. அப்ப 7,500 7,500 மேலயோ அததான் நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்றது specified premises. இந்த 9(5) sir including specified premises other than specified premises other than specified premises. That means if it is a specified premises, in order to be a specified premises என்ன ஆவணும்னா specified premise ஆவணும்னா hello sir room rent per day is how much rupees or more? அப்படினா that will be FCM அவங்களே பார்த்துப்பாங்க. If the room rent declared tariff என்ன tariff? Declared tariff is less than 7,500 and if you are giving through e-commerce operator, then the e-commerce operator is the person liable to pay GST, right? இப்ப படி supply of என்ன services? Restaurant services other than services supplied by restaurant, eating joints, etc. located at specified premises. So that word specified premises should be interpreted, correct? Yes, specified premises, they have given the interpretation that specified premises would mean premises providing an accommodation. Hotel accommodation service. Another hotel having declared tariff of any unit of accommodation above 7,500 per unit per day or equivalent, right? Appreciate பண்றியா? Yes sir. அப்ப less than என்ன 500 7,500 தான் எங்க புக் ஆகும்? 9(5) ல புக் ஆகும் or 5(5) ல புக் ஆகும். எவ்வளவு ரூபீஸ்க்கு மேல? அது வந்து ECM ல வராது, FCM ல வரும். Are you really with me? So it's a value addition to you, my dear lovable students. With regard to intrastate supply, we are having, sir, with regard to 5(1), shall we move into the counter section 5(1)? Yes sir, 5(1), levy and collection of what? IGST. Instead of CGST, there shall be levied a tax called central, so integrated goods and services tax on all interstate supply of goods or services or both, except on the supply of alcoholic liquor for on the value determined under section 15 at such rate not exceeding 40% as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council and collected in such manner as may be prescribed shall be paid by the taxable person, right? I already highlighted the amendment under 5 subsection 1 which is important, very important man, which we have already done. IGST on end of goods, import of goods. As per the proviso to section 5(1), as per the proviso to section 5(1), integrated tax on goods other than the goods as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council imported into India shall be levied and collected in accordance with the provisions of section 3 of the QTA. Section 3 of the and since QTA is not there in inter, this proviso is not applicable for inter. Okay? Yes, right sir. What they are saying inga va correct purinjuko. If you are sir import is covered under 5(1), right? Yes, import activities are taken care by GST, right? Yes, but what GST is saying that if you are importing goods, let the customs act take care. Let the customs act take care. But if you are importing services, but the importing GST Act, IGST Act will take care, correct? Yes, but they have added one proviso saying that as per proviso to section 5(1), the tax on goods other than the goods as may be notified by the government, other than the goods as may be notified by the what? On the recommendation of the council. Like this separation was not there. Whenever, whoever, whatever goods has been imported into India, it was under the purview of the QTA, Customs Tariff Act. But now they have created an exception. They said that except one goods or some of the goods what we are notifying, sir, even though it is goods, it will fall under IGST Act. It will fall under IGST Act. முன்னாடி import of goods ஃபுல்லாவே யார்கிட்ட இருந்துச்சு? அப்போ அந்த எக்ஸெப்ஷனை கிரியேட் பண்ணனும் தான் proviso amend பண்ணிருக்காங்க. As per proviso to section N1 51, the integrated tax on dash other than goods as may be notified by the government on the end of the council imported into India, imported shall be levied and collected in accordance with the provisions of section 3 of the QTA, correct? On the value determined under the Customs Tariff Act at the point when duty or customs are levied on the said goods under section 12 of the Customs Act. Section 12 is the basic section, correct? Upper section 12, value of supply section 14, sir, value of import section 14. Hello sir. இதெல்லாம் வெச்சு நீங்க என்ன பண்ணனும்னா goods import பண்ணீங்கனா QTA ல தான் வரணும், கரெக்ட்டா? All imports are deemed as NS state supply and accordingly dash shall be levied on imported goods in addition to the applicable custom duty. My dear lovable students, hello, if you are importing goods sir 37 நீங்க customs valuation போடும்போது போட்டுருப்பீங்க இல்லையா? IGST under section என்ன 7 அப்படினா goods import பண்ணீங்கனா sir it's a dash state supply. இந்த state supply னா NST வரும். அந்த IGST கலெக்ட் பண்றதுக்கான அதிகாரம் யாருக்கு கொடுத்திருக்கோம்? QTA கொடுத்திருக்கோம் இல்லையா? The integrated tax on goods shall be in addition to the applicable என்ன custom duty which is levied as per the Customs Tariff Act, right? In addition, enna compensation says may also be leviable on certain luxury and demerit goods, luxury and sin goods, right? Under the Goods and Services Tax, which is compensation to say State Cess Act. Everything has been discussed in the class. However, the credit of NL levy to be allowed under the NL law and that it is inherently embedded in NL mechanism. அப்ப ஆக்சுவலா அது கலெக்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியது யாரு? GST Act, கரெக்ட்டா? அப்போ ஆனா அதோட அத்தாரிட்டி யார்கிட்ட கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்காங்க? QTA. சார் முன்னாடி எல்லா குட்ஸுக்குமே யாருதான்? QTA தான். இப்போ அதுக்கு எக்ஸெப்ஷன் கிரியேட் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, ஒத்துக்கறியா? ஆனா ஒரு ITC கிரெடிட் யாருக்கு தான் கொடுப்பாங்க? Right. While IGST on N of services would be leviable under the N Act, the levy of IGST on import of goods will be levied under the N Act, read with the Customs Tariff Act 1975. If it is an import of services, IGST Act. If it is import of goods, Customs Act. But Customs Act. But it has been changed. It has been changed. This is the notification they have put. Supply of online money gaming. Already shown earlier. Supply of online money gaming. Notified as the supply of goods on import of which integrated tax shall be levied and collected under 51 of the N Act. அப்போ online என்ன gaming? Money gaming is a supply of goods னு சொல்றாங்க முதல்ல. Supply of என்ன சார்? Online money gaming supply of goods னு சொல்றாங்க. எந்த goods import பண்ணாலும் யாருக்கு authority? Customs Act, QTA authority, கரெக்ட்டா? இந்த ஒரு விஷயத்தை மட்டும் நீ பாத்துக்காத, நாங்க பாத்துக்கறோம். அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்றியா? In exercise of the powers conferred under the proviso to section 51 of the IGST Act. proviso காட்டி கொடுத்தல்ல? அந்த proviso வச்சு தான் நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் போட்டுருக்காங்க. கிளாரிட்டி இப்போ? Yes sir, the government on the end of the council notify the supply of online money gaming as the goods of import of which proviso to section 51 of the said act shall not apply, but on which integrated tax shall be levied and collected under section 51 of the said act. So if the import is import of online money gaming, online, it will not fall under the customs, it will not fall under the QTA, it will fall under 5 subsection 1 of the N Act, IGST Act. Perfect clarity? What in the last class I said is supply of online money gaming is not covered under the Customs Act, as covered under the, today I have given the proof Sir, under section 5 subsection 1, we are having a proviso. That proviso is saying that import of goods க்கு மேல IGST யார் கலெக்ட் பண்ணணும்? Customs Act with QTA கலெக்ட் பண்ணணும். But they have amended that as a proviso, which is saying that import of goods other than certain item which has been notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. So for that purpose, they have issued a notification, which is online money gaming. Clarity?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
So this is a value addition. So my dear lovable students, this is a one-line summary of the entire discussion. The one-line summary is import can be classified into how many category? Two category. Number one, import of goods. Another import of
Goods.
number two, import of services. Right?
Yes,
Sir, import of services are covered under 5(1) of the Enact IGST Act. Services nale GST will take care. Right?
Yes, sir.
Either import of goods classified in how many category? Two category. முன்னாடி ஒரே ஒரு category தான். Customs Act QTA சொல்லியிருந்தா போதும். இப்போ நம்ம என்ன சொல்லணும்னா ஆன்லைன் என்ன கேமிங்? Money gaming. Sir, online money gaming, sir, will be taken care by 5(1) of the Enact IGST Act. Appreciate பண்றனே. Other than what that? Other than online என்ன gaming? Money gaming. Other than online money gaming. Hello, sir. Which has to be taken care by the Customs Act, read with NSR QTA 1975. Which is Customs Tariff Act 1975. Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
So this is a one-line summary of the discussion. We'll be adding little more amendments are there in this area, which are only one or two slight tinkering here and there. Majority I have taught you, sir. That's why I'm redoing from start to you have a flow. உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஃப்ளோ அந்த அமெண்ட்மெண்ட் தனியாக படித்த மாதிரி தெரியக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லி தான் 9(1)லேருந்து நான் திருப்பி இன்னைக்கு ரிப்பீட் பண்ணேன். அப்படியே உங்களுக்கு செட் ஆகிருக்கும். அப்படியே நான் அமெண்ட்மெண்ட் ரெண்டாவது வாட்டி கேட்ட மாதிரி, சார் whether the exams are extending or not, even I don't know. Sir, even now I think ICA also don't know. Sir, whether it is extending or not, continue your study journey without breaking. Otherwise, sir, when the 1 month passes, you will again have a question that will they again extend? So, when the time passes. Once they extend, it will become more tough. You have to cover more portions and more syllabus, and pass person will be also less. So, we have to prepare very hard without breaking the series of revision. Daily will be continuing. Sir, those who are listening to the lectures, if you are enjoying, sir, share your happiness, then that is the real motivation to do all this, my dear lovable students. We'll meet tomorrow morning. Till that, thank you. Bye-bye from ANM.